Oh, cool. Sorry. All right, quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Hello, my name, call me amateur human. I'm here because, well, for a number of reasons, but I think where we should start is I hate my job. Probably similar to many people out there. I'm not satisfied with the work that I'm in. And I think that there's three types of jobs that people will encounter in this world, at least within America. One, the job that everybody's fighting for, that you got to go to school for, and there is so much competition for that the likelihood that you're going to get in there is pretty low. Two, the job that pays very little, that there's an abundance of, that you can get, and then it's not that hard of a job, but you don't make anything, and you spend all your time just trying to make the bare minimum, which is really not worth your time. And three, the job that you make a decent amount, but you gotta work your ass off, and the job is soul crushing, and it sucks, and you hate it. I think I fall into that third category. And I'm consenting to that scenario because it's, out of the three, the best scenario for me right now. And, but hey, I've been studying you internet folk for a little while now, and I've noticed that you have a decent amount of followers, the big group of followers. Well, I was thinking, one of you guys that has, like, say, 5,000 followers. We'll say 5,000 followers. What if you convinced those 5,000 followers to donate $1 every day for 100 days? Now, I'm sure you're good enough at math to know that that would equal out to $500,000. That's a pretty easy way to make that much money. Let's just say that. That's impulse purchases at the checkout lane. That's the Reese's Pieces in the little bag. That just made enough to buy land for business. And that's really what I want to get into is, if it's that easy for us to be able to conjure up enough money to create a business, why aren't we doing that? Because most people I know don't like their job. It's a very small group of people that I think really enjoy their job, and good for them. But most of us are probably not able to find that perfect fit, and I think a lot of what we would want is just to get paid more and to not have to work too hard when we get paid more. Just the two things: decent pay and not a job that sucks so bad. That's not that hard to fit. But because we live in a world of shareholders dictating how the workload increases, because we live in a world where the competition of the next group's productivity and being able to satisfy, well, how large is the market? All these factors that don't necessarily have to do with a human experience creates how your work life is going to be. I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm not saying that the marketplace needs to be this or that, because whatever they create is whatever they create. But I'm talking about us. In this situation, $1 per day for 100 days of 5,000 followers, you created $500,000. Well, what's something that we could do with that money? Like I said, a business. I think that, and I'm not talking about just any old business. I'd like for it to be something where the workers have control in the business, so that you and I, creating this movement, have the end result of getting paid better and having better jobs. That's what all the politicians out there talk about, and nobody has any specifics on how that's going to come to fruition. And I'm saying, what if we make employee-owned businesses? What if we create worker co-ops through the change in our center console? I know nobody has coins anymore, but through the change in your center console, through the change in your pocket that's going to fall out the other side, you're going to just hand off to whomever, you could create a movement out of that. We could be able to, and my thought is going the route of what is something that everyone's going to be able to need, or what's a business that's always going to be there no matter where you're at. Gas station, fuel station. Because some places might move on to other fuels. But right now, gas station is the main thing. So what if we started to look at, can we buy a gas station? Can we create a charter for a workers' cooperative where people are paid in percentages, and a lot of it, the money that would normally be siphoned out to the owner or higher CEOs is now just in this one building. There's a little bit more, obviously, for management in percentage, but you get a percentage that if you operate the same as other gas stations operate, you stand to make at least $500 a week off of the sales that are created there, and you don't necessarily have to work 40 hours a week to be able to make that. Maybe you work 30 hours a week, maybe you work 20 hours a week, depending on how the business goes there, how it thrives. The beauty of a scenario like this is, let's say that my idea doesn't work. Well, then you have, everybody is out, and by the way, this would be a micro donation system, not a lending system. So there's no money being paid back. It's just you decide that you can give up the change in your pocket for something that you're paying forward to society. And, but let's say it doesn't work. Well, then those people are only out the $1 that they were going to have that day, each day. I guess somebody could try and say $100, but that's not really what it is it? It's you're out $1 each of those days. And I don't think anybody I've met, well, you know what, there are people that I have encountered, but it's not the majority of America can spare $1 a day easily. And they should. Because we can create a model where if there is success, how hard is it to recreate it? What's the likelihood that we can create a system where every 100 days there's another worker co-op created, there's another fuel station acquired, and people are able to work much easier jobs. They're able to work jobs that are able to satisfy the market, and there isn't a standard of siphoning money out to a CEO. There isn't a huge demand that every one of those buildings, businesses, single businesses, has to expand into 75 different chains. Because we can just take our $1 and create the next one that easily. So we can start focusing on how can we make the employees' experience better versus how do we make the shareholders more satisfied? How do we make the higher up CEOs more satisfied? We have everything in the building, and it's how do you walk home with enough money in your pocket and your soul isn't crushed by being exhausted from too much work and too little time. So that's my idea. And there's an extension of this idea, which is, where do we do this at? And I know there's Cash App, there's PayPal, there's Venmo. There's a lot of good services out there, but it feels like there's not anything that's specifically curtailed towards micro donations of this caliber that are meant to build either businesses or potentially other resolutions. What if instead of a business, they want to build a recreation center? Why would there need to be a limit? I'd like to think of a micro donation website or app that could house the building of resolutions. And I mean, like, somebody comes there and they have an idea and they post it on there, similarly to like a GoFundMe, but for their community or for their state or for their nation, for their planet. There are people that come together and they try to review how something like that could be done, and then there's movement made on it. I think there's a lot of promise to an idea like that, and I'd like to see where we can go with that. And so that's the first bit that I'm going to give you here at Amateur Human, where I'm just going to offer all sorts of opinions, but where we're going to start is, hey, why the hell do I work this crappy job? Can't we fix that? Can't we fix it for each other? Because I know I can spare $1. Can you?